ideal. Yeah. You think it's right?
I don't think war is ever romantic. I think war is brutal and nasty, and people get killed, and it's never a good thing. But but they were certainly fighting for their ideals. They were certainly fighting for their principles. And I think that the Spanish Civil War was a very unique war in that why would a group of men from Manchester go to fight voluntarily in a country that they'd never been in before? But they went because of an ideal of something that they believed in. And a lot of my father had been in the Navy, so he had travelled, but a lot of men had never even left England before. So Spain was the first place that they went to. And that idea of volunteering and risking your life for a cause, I think it's a very, very principled thing to do.
Yeah. Now the question. Why is your name Dolores?
My name is Dolores because when my father came back from Spain, he got married, and he had 3 sons, and the 3 sons were all called after my father's friends in Spain, so they were all called after brigaders. And he called his daughter Dolores after Dolores La Pasionaria, which caused me a lot of problems growing up in Manchester because nobody knew who she was, and so people would always, why are you called Dolores? It was always a difficult name to have, but I'm now, as I got older, I became very proud of the name.
And did he ever meet La Pasionaria?
I don't think he ever met La Pasionaria, but he did receive this letter here from Dolores Ibarori, which I'm very, very proud of. And Dolores Ibarori, who was the leader, the very inspirational leader in Spain, was thanking the International Brigaders for coming to Spain. I think she just realised what an amazing thing it was for them to do. And of course, when the Brigaders were leaving Spain for the final time, and they were leaving Barcelona, she made that very, very beautiful final speech in which she said to the Brigaders, you're leaving, but when the olive branch, when the olive tree puts forth its branches and Spain is peaceful, come back to us. And it's a very, very beautiful, very, very powerful speech thanking the Brigaders and asking them to come back when Spain is democratic once again. And of course that's what happened. The Brigaders did go back in 1996.
Tell me what your father left in Spain and what he brought back to England.
What he left in Spain was a lot of his comrades. Some of his very, very close friends were killed in Spain and injured in Spain, and that must have been a terrible thing to have happened, because they were small numbers, they became very, very close, and the bond between them was very, very strong. And so seeing your comrades killed must have been a terrible experience. He also brought back with him a politics that stayed with him for the rest of his life. On other causes, for example, Vietnam, anti-apartheid in South Africa, both of my parents were very, very involved in those kind of political campaigns for democracy and freedom for the rest of their lives. And that was very much, he gained that knowledge and that awareness when he was in Spain.
Did he go to the Second World War?
He didn't go to the Second World War, and it's a very interesting question, because some of the men who were in Spain did go to fight in the Second World War, and some of them, including my father, were not allowed to fight in the Second World War, which is interesting because those men who had been in Spain had a lot of military experience, and they'd been fighting fascism, and but my father didn't fight in the Second World War, and I'm still not quite sure of why that was. I think that some of the people who had been in Spain were considered by the British government to be a little bit dangerous and maybe too revolutionary, and maybe my father fell into that group.
Did you go to Spain in 1996?
I did. I went to Spain in 1996, and Bernard was there. My father was dead by this time, which I feel very sad about, because it was the most amazing experience. It was really the first time that the brigaders had been thanked and acknowledged by the Spanish government. And so brigaders came from all over the world, from America and all over Europe, and I think they were totally overwhelmed by the reaction and the welcome they received from the Spanish people, because if they were walking down the street, young people would just stand and clap and give them flowers, and it was the most emotional experience for them, because I just don't think they'd expected that kind. I think they thought there might be a few receptions here and there, but they were not expecting such a response from ordinary people in the street. And we went around to the places where the brigades had fought and met local people, and there were receptions. And I think for the brigaders who went back in '96, it must have felt like a recognition that they'd never received from the British government of what they had done. It was a kind of thank you for what you did to help Spain. And I think it meant a great deal to the brigade.